With that, welcome to another show called Nuwaupu, Science of Sound Right Reasoning. Today, my name is Anthony Roberts, and with me I have
Anne-Marie Powell.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this upcoming month, that we call Black History Month. We're going to recognize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday was yesterday. We'll celebrate the holiday, and we're going to recognize a lot more of some of our leaders. All right. Basically, the intention of the show today is to prepare us or listening audience as you watch and listen. Think about Black History Month and think about the history that's been given to you. All right. So we're going to take you beyond the 400-year bondage into ancient Egypt or ancient Tamale. All right, we're going to take you into ancient Sumer. We're going to take you way back to the beginning. All right, so oftentimes when we look at Black history, we don't look at it in the context of our complete story. We look at it as the bondage of 400 years of what they call chain, shackle, slave, and so forth. So we're going to look at some more positive aspects of our story.
Right. Because for a long time, in most history books, what you find is they give you that slave thing. That's where we came from, but nobody has ever bothered to tell us where we started from, basically. Because we had to begin somewhere. We didn't just pop up in chains and so forth and so on. And then when you look at what the scientists are digging up now, they found a bone in Kenya, and then they call her Lucy, but she's over 10,000 years old. That tells you right there. And slavery started, about 400 years ago. You know that something is amiss here. There's a big gap in our story. And basically that's what the show is about today and stuff like that. So hold on to your chairs, get your pen and your paper, whatever have you, and come on, let's get with the right knowledge and let's set the record straight.
That's right.
We got to set the record straight because we're talking about let's take a look at what's been happening here. A few weeks ago and stuff, there's a lot of things that they have on TV now. But if you go back, we'll say maybe about a year, just to give or take, give somebody the benefit of the doubt, right? But we know what we know. And when our Supreme Grand Master, Asaru, was coming out with Ancient Egypt on the film. He came out with that book over, 1970? Telling you about the ancient Egyptians and the Sumerians and the Olmecs and the Nubians, and taking us back way into our stories. And he started giving us all this information. Now, here you go, 1999, ending of 1998, all of a sudden they pop up with, a lot of the stuff that they're hiding from us, but they have no choice but have to give it up. They have to tell us the truth. They can't keep it from us. The nines are in our favor because they're all lined together, 999. That's 1999. So, it's time for us as a people to really look at what's happening. Because for a long time, they haven't been giving us that stuff. They haven't tell us. And then when they do tell us, they tell us, well, you come from a slave, you were in shackles and we used to beat you and burn you and, all this negative stuff. So obviously you grow up thinking that, all this stuff applies when it really doesn't. And so now we have that inferior stuff out the window, superior stuff coming forth now. They can't beat it. They can't take it away from us.
That's right. You sparked something in me when you talked about how, for so many years we've been taught, a certain story,
That's right.
That we have come to know as his story. And within being taught this story that is his story, we were given images, all right? So when you say certain names, automatically, as soon as you say certain names, an image comes to mind. Because the English language works that way. It works you say a word, Jesus, and then as soon as you say that word, there's an image that pops in your mind, and it's placed there by certain people who are telling their story, which we know today as history. All right. So when All right, we're going to look at throughout all the diaspora of Africans. You know, we're going to look at the images that were presented. Right now, you have, by way of the media, you have the Prince of Egypt.
Right.
All right, when we were growing up, we had Charleston Heston.
Right.
You follow? And so when you thought about Moses, automatically you saw Charleston Heston.
Right.
When you thought about Cleopatra, you saw Elizabeth Taylor,
right.
You know, and so forth and so on. You know, and we have enough. What we're saying is this: we have enough actors, actresses, thespians. You know, we have enough people of, let's say, color. All right, to play these parts. All right. Now we have went from transplanting Tamil images to a cartoon figure that doesn't represent the actual Moses or Tehuti or Thutmose, you know? And what is it doing to the minds of all these young people that's going to the movies, and for the first time, they've been hearing the story of Moses and how he parted the Red Sea and so forth and so on, and for the first time they got to see this man, you know, or so they think. You know, this is placing an image in the minds and the consciousness of developing men and women, gods and goddesses, all right? And when you're dealing with balancement, when you're dealing with supreme balancement, when you're dealing with Nuwaupu, you know, when you're dealing with set the record straight, you got to give the information the way it was recorded. And that is not the way it was recorded, all right? So in our conversation with you, the audience today, and hopefully we get some calls a little later.
I'm sure we will.
You know, it's about presenting the information as it was recorded, all right? And as it was recorded, it may not be what you want to hear, what satisfy your ego. You know, it might not be that way for you, but facts presented by science, by archaeological discovery, so forth and so on, all right, tells you that the bone in Kenya, the Pithecanthropus, and Australopithecus, these bones are of Nubians. All right?
That's right.
You know, and they're found in parts of the planet that we originated from.
That's
all right? So when you're talking about black history, you know, let's expand it beyond the 400-year-old bondage.
That's right.
All right? And go into what they call the ancient antiquities. You know, going to, you know, ancient of days. You know, going to when we were developing prominent civilizations which today reign as supreme. All right? To this day, you know, they're baffled about Egypt and Sumer, you know. So,
you know, to add to what you're saying, we're not trying to get anyone now to stop believing in your Jesus if that's what you want to believe in. And I use the word believe.
Right.
Okay. But what we're here to say is there is a new set of people here. There is the one that is talked about in the book of Genesis that says we will be made to dumbfound the wise. Right. We're here to do just that, because for the simple reason is we are no longer accepting your theories about Jesus, that he came to save us. We no longer accept. We don't want to accept any more of those things. If you want to accept that, that's your problem, and that's on you. But by all means, all we're asking people to do is just use and have an open ear, have an open mind. You know, be willing to go out and research and check these things out. If we're lying, then you can say you're lying. And we are willing to, as I've heard Atum Ray said, he says that if you can prove what we have is not the fact, then we will follow you.
Right.
Okay, we will take what we have, we will put it aside, and we will follow you.
Right.
And we will go with your Jesus or whatever image and so forth and so on. But today, since 1970 and before, there has been no one on this planet that can say that the information that he has given us is wrong. None.
No one.
So because they can't find any faults with the information, then they attacked him. They will attack him as a man. One of the best things that, and I won't say the Caucasian, because a lot of times, you know, people say Caucasian, because it takes Nubians as well. You have people of color as well who's doing this. And they're the biggest haters of right knowledge. For the simple reason it lets them come in contact with who they are as a people, what they are as a people, where they come from, and they refuse to accept these things because in their mind they have been slaves for so long that they really can't give that up.
Right. And
they can't.
Yeah, and it's important to recognize that we have many leaders out here today.
That's right.
Our Supreme Grand Master is our spiritual guide and
That's
teacher.
right.
All right. As Nuwaubians or the Nubian nation, we have many leaders. All right. Oftentimes, it seems that we're always, fighting against each other, or it seems that that's what this is about. When you're talking about Nubian history, all right, there's one thing that stands out, all right, and it's not religion, all right?
That's right.
It's survival.
That's right.
All right, we come together regardless of religious denomination,
That's right.
Creed, sexual orientation, what have you, race, come together to do what's necessary for the survival of a people, all right? When you go back into the 60s, with Power to the People, Stokely Carmichael, who passed recently, great leaders, they were part of building that stepping stone that we, are a part of setting straight. All right, you have people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in his day and time raised a nation that was so organized and powerful. We bear witness that these were the forerunners.
That's right.
You follow? These individuals, Rosa Parks, who stood up on that, who sat down on that bus and was like, I'm not moving.
That's right.
We mentioned the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
You have Marcus Garvey. You have Campus.
Right.
You got Noble Drew Ali. Before we go any further, I have a question here, okay?
Go ahead.
Why is it, and this is to the Nubian population as well as to the senators, whomever have you, all those guys that are out there, and I hope they're seeing it, and if they're not, I hope a friend of theirs see it and they can actually go out and say, somebody asked this question. Why is it, as a people, that we subject ourselves to always being given what we're supposed to look at? For example, they always give us Rosa Parks, okay? Marcus Garvey. No, they don't give us Marcus Garvey. Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm going with some of the names here because
they give us Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They give us Jesse Jackson. They give us different people like Crispus Attucks and...
Well, we basically y'all got the idea because I know in your heads you can be like, okay, yeah, and you can run off the names yourself. Why is it they don't tell you anything about Marcus Garvey and what Marcus Garvey stood for? How about Campus? Campus came, he did what he had to do. What about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Why do they hate Farrakhan so much? I mean, some of the things Farrakhan do, I don't agree with it, and that's a personal opinion. I don't agree with some of the things that he does. But he has, he came, and one of the things that he does set the record straight for, and that's stuff that we as a people don't even know about, is the things that they're doing to black people and a whole in different areas of the country. In the paper, it's there, it's documented. We can see these facts. But for some reason, we just sit there and we accept all these things. It's like we don't have a mind of our own.
It's true, and it's so sad because it's about divide and conquer. You follow? Divide and conquer. If I, by some reason, can't relate, and I'm talking as people in this community, if we can't relate to a certain aspect of what our individual is doing by way of their leadership, then we have to pick sides. They're either wrong or right. You know what I mean? And it's like something we always say in class, what is fire? Is fire good or bad? And Nuwaup informs us that fire is neither. Fire is a form of energy expressed itself as light, heat, or what have you, all right? Giving off carbon when it's burnt. Now, when you look at the actions of people, they are the actions. People are who or what they are, and they may not be who and what you want them to be, but when you're talking about our story, there's been important leaders that are not being placed by way of image, by way of their story into the minds of our young people, not only as to be placed on a pedestal, but as examples. As role models. Today we have people forcing now athletes down our throats as role models. They're forcing whoever they want. You follow? And we're in a situation where we, like the sister said, we need to define who and what, is important to us.
That's right.
And black history has been dominated by, a certain influence.
That's right. It has.
Let's look at there's Frederick Douglass. There's let me give you another one. George Washington Carver. There's W. E. Du Bois. These individuals. Carter G. Woodson. Mary McLeod Bethune, and so forth and so on. Sojourner Truth. Harriet Tubman. All these individuals played important roles in our liberation and in our coming to a certain level of self-identity, right?
That's right. Because then and that reminds me at the time when in slavery, because we hear this all the time, of when we were there back then. One of the reasons we gathered in the churches, it wasn't because we were sitting there waiting on some blonde-haired, blue-eyed man or a guy with dreadlocks or whatever have you to come and save us. We were actually gathering in there because we were planning on how to get out of this mess that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Because we realized that there were some of us that were working for the masters. Because they do have a group up in Baltimore that swears that the Caucasian is the supreme of them, and they will do anything for these people. And these are black people. This is the group that they have. It's something somewhat like your skinhead. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's their thing. And that's what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, what we have to start to realize is, and I know somebody's probably out there saying, why do they always have to harp on this stuff? We have to. Because if we don't get this information straight, we as a people will never be able to move forward. It's just like when you are in, and this is a weird comparison, but I'm going to use it because I'm hoping that people can relate to it. When you're in a relationship, and if the relationship you realize is not going anywhere because of lack of information, lack of communication, what have you, you realize that once you get everything formulated, you start communicate and you start talking about situations, you move forward. But as long as you don't get these things straight, then what happens is you sit there and you lay dormant and you actually start dying. You know what I'm saying? But people are looking for physical death, but it isn't. It's a mental death, an emotional death, a spiritual death. And once you're dead, because those are the roots of you. Once you start to die like that, then eventually there's nothing left to happen but the corpse to die. That's why a lot of people that you see walking around are nothing but mentally dead. The physical corpse is here, and that's all it is, because they go from A to B to C, and that's all their life consists of. They go back, forth, and that's it. They can't go outside of that. They can't think out of person, place, and things. They can't think out of religion. They can't think out of this. Don't get me wrong, religion played a big part in a lot of this, because for some people, it had held them and give them the faith and the strength in what they needed to make it through to the point that they are at. But believe me, when you start checking into religion for what religion is not all that. It isn't.
That's a very important point, too, when you're talking about, this month and history, all right?
That's right.
Let's look at this. Dr. Martin Luther King, once again, all right? Religiously, he was on the one denomination, all right? What he did, all right, that impacted the nation. The largest wasn't his preaching in church, is actually his civil rights activism, all right? That was really where most of his credit comes from, not as a person behind the pulpit or whatever, right? It's actually the political work, all right? Let's look at the fact that when you're dealing with a planet that's a round circle, all right, with many different points, all right, with many different doctrines and many different disciplines and many different sciences and what have you, all right, and you say that God created all of these things, all right, but we ignore the facts by ignoring one of, let's say, because you use it, God's creation, which is science. All right? We ignore that. We ignore one of God's creation, which is archaeological findings.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Anthropological studies.
Right.
We ignore that and we say that these are created by this omnipotent, all-knowing, being. All right? And it doesn't make sense. The whole concept doesn't make sense. All right? And when you look at Nuwaupu and you look at the teaching of the Supreme Grand Master, who's brought forth the concept of El Kulum, the all, we know by way of our affirmation, by way of our lessons, that all love is in
all.
us.
That's right.
All love is in all.
And we're
I'm
in
a part of the all.
That's right. And the all is a part.
And all is a part of me. So when we look at reality as such, all right, it's very hard to point the finger and place blame because we know we're pointing at ourselves.
That's right.
You follow?
That's
and
right.
That's been one of the things that, this whole history or his story and the images that have been presented has taken away from us. The fact that we are our brother and our sister's keeper.
That's right.
That's been taken away.
That's right. There's a lot of things that have been taken away from us. But at this point in time, we really can't hop on that. What we, as a people, have to do at this point is starting to build and to start digging. You know how the archaeologists, they go and they start digging in the ground to find all the stuff about us that's been buried? Okay, what we need to start doing is go into their stuff because they have all those books hidden in their libraries. And they have it in a place called the archives. Okay? Which means that you have to get a pass and, in order to go in and dig for these things. Go in there. It's time for us to start finding out, to know things. Because if we don't know anything, then we can't go any further than where we're at. And if we sit down and we wait for somebody else to give it to us, guess what? You're not going to get it.
That's right.
Because that's one thing as a parent, because my mother told me that. I know my mother told her, my mother, and I know you've told your children, and I've told my children, if you want something done properly, what are you supposed to do? Do it yourself. So it's time for people to get out there and really start utilizing these libraries that they have.
That's right.
And find all this information. The information is there. And it's not to take away anything. If you need your Bible, have your Bible. You can take your Bible with you. And I bet you any money they have different Bibles in there. Because down in Copley they have a religious area.
Right.
And they have different Bibles from Greek, from Latin, from the Hebrew. They have all these from all the different countries. They have all these different Bibles in English as well as in the language that that it was written in, so that people can actually go there and they can compare these things. That's not that the information isn't there. That's just that we as a people don't want to get up and do it. And we sat so long waiting for somebody else to do it. No wonder they were able to do what they do to us. Because we don't want, we didn't want to get up and, we got up and we fought, and we marched, and we did all these things, and we got this far. Now we're sitting there and we're like, some of us are fighting. Okay, because some of us are still out there marching and doing all those things. But still, there are people that are out there still trying to get us to do what they think is right. And according to us, it's like, you've got that. But that's according to you. What about us? What about us writing the books for ourselves, for our children?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it's time. And I've heard the Supreme Grand Master say that over and over and over. And he's been doing it for a long time. And it's time that we start implementing him in the history book.
That's right.
He's in the the Guinness Book of World Records for writing for one man to write the most books. It's time for us to rewrite those history books and place our faces in those books.
Right.
We have to place those things in there. And we don't want all the pale ones because it's not all pale people that are here. We don't want all the small lips and the aquiline noses and the straight hair because that's not what was here first. And it's not all of us that have perm hair. You want your perm hair, keep your perm hair. You know what I'm saying? You want to straighten your nose, that's fine. That's all you. You don't like what you... So you're telling God who created you, according to you, that you don't like what he made you into. So you want to change it. So now you feel that you're God and you can do all those things. That's on you. But put us, the natural people, back in those books for our children. And these are things that we need to start doing. Yeah,
we recently have been invited to different high schools to do presentations on ancient Egypt and the pharaohs.
That's right. Science of the pyramids.
Science of the pyramids.
The record straight. That's right.
We've been invited to quite a few high schools to do this type of education, all right, or informing the youth. And the youth have so many questions that are not being answered in the schools.
Right.
You know, and as parents, you know, we need to seriously look at going into and checking out what really is my son, my daughter. What are they learning?
That's right.
You know, and who's really benefiting from the edited dictation that they're receiving? Because you notice what education is. Education is an edited dictation. You go in, these books are edited, revised. You know, you follow 5th edition. You know. So what we're saying is this: Black History Month. All right. Who's telling you who and what you are? All right. Is it someone that was raised amongst you? Someone who was bred specifically to raise you, and who has never said, don't believe me, because everything I'm saying is right. No. What we say is, you know, by way of the Supreme Grand Master, my teacher, our teacher is,
that's right.
Don't believe what we're saying.
That's right.
Go up there and look it up. It says in the scriptures that most people out there, followers, that you have to ask, you have to seek, you have to knock. You follow? And if you don't, and what is asking? You know, test that spirit. Well, you can't test the spirit unless you ask them a question. You know what I'm saying? We were bred to not ask questions, to sit down and accept and to believe and to be herded like animals. All right? Let me explain something to y'all. Right? Think about this for a moment. This is the first time in our story, all right, that we're getting the whole truth.
That's right.
And some people are not prepared for the whole truth. You follow? Because we've been so used to getting bits and pieces. And the bits and pieces that we've been getting is bits and pieces that were, you know, spoon-fed by certain people for a certain reason. They had their own agenda. This is the first time in the history of this planet that we're getting the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me, God. Me. All right? This is the first time. All right? Moses got a piece.
That's right.
All right? Abraham got a piece.
That's right.
Zakar, Adam, Cadman, he got a piece. Muhammad got a piece. You know? Jesus got a piece.
They all got a piece.
They all got a piece. You know?
So where's your piece at?
I know, huh? But now this is the first time in the history of the planet that we're getting the whole thing. All right? Think about this. You have a horse that's 400, 800 pounds. All right? Raw brute strength. Okay? Right. And you have a 6 foot, 5'11", 150, 75, maybe 200 pound man, all right, who jumps up on this horse and breaks that horse. All right? Now you and I know that horse could kick any one of our butts anytime it feels like.
Yeah.
But what is it, right, that makes that horse submit to the will of this man? All right? It's seasoning. This horse was trained, seasoned, fear. All right? This is what they feed into us, a fear tactic. All right? If you don't do this, you're going to go to hell. You know? Where's hell?
What is hell?
What is hell? If you don't do this is what's going to happen. You know, fear tactic. Oh, you know what? Let's bring it up to date and show you how the fear tactic works.
Yeah,
all right? Look. Let's bring it up to date and show you how it works. All right? All of a sudden, you have mothers going to give birth.
Right.
And they're doing what? Misplacing babies.
Right.
All right? Now, before they started showing us the misplacing of the babies, they showed us that they have a tag where they could put into animals, and animals, if they're lost, all they got to do is track the animal. Right? Guess who's next?
Human.
All right? And you are going to be begging for it, because you're going to say, well, if this could save my baby from not being switched, then I got to have it. You know? When for centuries we've been living
That's right.
without all this technology. And you get the white K-pop.
I know.
You got that coming up, right? And people are straight up panicking, right?
Right.
Let's go back 100 years ago. If somebody came up and said, listen, everything's going to shut down, all right? You're going to have to get water how you can. You're going to have to get food how you can. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that how you can. Guess what? Everybody would have been like, oh, really? That's what we're doing anyway. That's how we live. You know? Yeah. But now, you've been so seduced by the delicacy of the harlot, you know, once you get ready to snap a finger and shut certain parts of that reality off, guess what? You don't know how to survive.
Yeah, everybody's panicking.
Everybody's panicking.
Yeah.
And that's all part of his story. That's right. All part of the seasoning that the horse or you have been given. That's all part of the seasoning that's keeping you from standing up and being upright and saying, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a god, I am a goddess. You follow? Right. When we start to tell people, yo, listen, according to your scripture, you're a god.
Yeah.
No, I ain't no god.
Yeah, that's not possible according to them.
When you go to Psalms 82, verse 6, what does it say? You go to John 10:34, what does it say?
It tells you all of that. That you are God.
You are God, and all of you are children of the Most High.
That's
you know? But nobody wants to accept the responsibility of being God. And when you accept the responsibility of being God, not only today, but you connect back to the ancient God, the one in Tamaray, in what you call Egypt, or Mitzrayim, or Kemet. You follow? When you start to identify with those gods and say, look at what they're producing. You know, look at what they're bringing forth.
Right.
This, go ahead.
By all means, we continue.
Okay, this is what they're trying to stop. Now, we have a situation that's going on right now that we want to put out to the public, the listening audience, all right? Because you've been listening to us for, a couple years now, all right? And we've had calls. Some of y'all work with us. Some of y'all see us out in the street doing our tableaking, and some of y'all know what type of individuals we are, all right? We're in a situation right now, like the sister said, we have in our bookstore, El Holy Quran, all right? We have not had one Muslim or Islamic scholar that has come and said that what's in this book is wrong. We have not had that, all right? We have El Holy Torah, all right? We have not had one person from the Judaic community to come and say, listen, this is incorrect, all right? We have El Holy Injil, all right? Not one Christian has come, or theologian, or clergy, or what have you, has come and say, listen, we have bought the book, we've done the research, and there's some mistakes. This is wrong, according to the language, according to this. Not one person, all the stores that we have in this bookstore, at 201 Humboldt, the bookstore you see on the screen, all right? Yeah. Every single book put forth by our Supreme Grandmaster, Atum Reed, all right? Our authority, this day and time, every single book, not one person has come back and said, this information is incorrect, because according to the facts that we have just uncovered here, this and that, nobody.
They can't.
All right?
And they
now,
can't. They can't.
Like my sister was saying, they can't.
But
you know what they're doing? They do the next thing. They do what they have done to all our leaders.
That's right.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
That's right.
What was he harassed about?
That's
you know? Infidelity. All right? You have the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All right? He was harassed. Every time we have a prominent Nuwaubian, somebody who's fitting the description of what you may call a leader, we have to find something to character assassinate this individual.
That's right.
All right? That's
right.
the first step.
That's
the first step with Dr. Martin Luther King was try to embarrass him. All right? Let's, we're going to tell our story because, we was here. All right? We're going to tell our story because most people don't know.
And this is a part of our story, because at this point in time, we are making history.
Right.
We are what history is made of. But, Okay, after you finish what we're discussing, and then we're going to show you all some pictures. So we got a couple more minutes before we get to it.
Some pictures from
camera? You want to show the pictures first, or you want to finish with
You just finish this point, and then we're gonna roll into some pictures.
Right.
All right. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King, with all the great things that he did before he was assassinated, he was character assassinated first. All right. There was an attempt to discredit his family. All right. These things happened, and these things led up to the final tragic bullet.
Right.
Follow? And if you follow all the leaders that stepped forward, you have Marcus Garvey, which we talked about earlier. You know, his situation where he was sold out. You know, but before he was sold out, you know, there were files and files of investigation, you know, trying to discredit what he was doing. You know, and we could go on and on, all right? But right now what we're going to do is we're going to take some time and show you
and also, too, when we
some shots.
Go ahead. We're both trying to talk and get all this stuff out, right? Before we go, if you all would like to call us, you can give us a call at 445-3208 if you have any questions, or maybe you just have a comment or whatever have you. You can give us a call at 445-3208. Come on, guys, don't be shy. You know, y'all be running off at the mouth in front of that TV set. I know this, I know that. And also, you know, let's take a look at some of these pictures of our great ancient Egyptian past.
Begin all prayers and thinking by using the all. And yet, I am the alone of it all. And all love is in me. And yet, I am part of the all. What I am is part of the children, and the all is upon me. And yet, I am one with the all. What I will is one with man and me, and the all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of the all. And fail as an individual. I can do all I wish with it as long as my wish is to stay in the all. And never alone. And the all is I am. I can.